What do you do when the person you've built your life around shatters everything in an instant? How do you pick up the pieces of your heart and move forward when the betrayal comes from the one you trusted the most? This is the story of how I discovered my wife had secretly married another man while we were still together, the heartbreak I endured, and how I eventually found the strength to heal and rebuild my life. When I met her, it felt like a dream. She was everything I had ever wanted in a partner. Intelligent, kind, and beautiful. We connected on such a deep level that it felt like fate had brought us together. Our courtship was fast, but it felt right. When we said our vows, I believed I'd found my forever. In the early years, our marriage felt solid. We laughed together, planned for the future, and supported each other through life's ups and downs. Sure, we had our challenges, but what couple doesn't? I thought we were happy. I thought we were building a life we could both be proud of. But looking back, there were cracks in the foundation that I chose to ignore. In hindsight, there were signs that something was off. She started working late more often, spending weekends away under the guise of visiting family, and being more protective of her phone. When I asked about it, she always had a reasonable explanation. I didn't want to be the paranoid husband, so I trusted her. After all, trust is the cornerstone of any relationship, right? But the distance between us grew. Intimate conversations became rare, and she seemed preoccupied, as if her mind was somewhere else. I chalked it up to stress or a phase we'd eventually work through. I never imagined the real reason was something so unthinkable. The truth came out in the most unexpected way. I received a message from a mutual acquaintance, someone I hadn't spoken to in years. They sent me a link to a social media post congratulating my wife, on her recent marriage. The photo was unmistakable. There she was, in a wedding gown, standing beside another man. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake or a misunderstanding. But as I scrolled through the comments and saw the dates, the reality set in. She had married him while we were still legally married. My heart sank. I felt a mix of anger, disbelief, and profound sadness. How could she do this to me? To us? When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She said she had fallen out of love with me but didn't know how to tell me. She claimed she hadn't intended for me to find out this way and that she was sorry for hurting me. But her apologies felt hollow. How could someone who claimed to care about me betray me so deeply? I felt humiliated, broken, and lost. The woman I had pledged my life to had not only betrayed me, but had also moved on without even giving me the decency of closure. I knew I couldn't stay in the marriage, not after what she had done. So, I filed for divorce and began the painful process of untangling our lives. The weeks and months that followed were some of the darkest of my life. I questioned everything, my judgment, my worth, and my ability to trust again. But I knew I couldn't let her actions define me or my future. I had to find a way to heal. Therapy became a cornerstone of my recovery. Talking to a professional helped me process the betrayal and begin to rebuild my self-esteem. I also leaned on my support system, friends, family, and even colleagues who reminded me that I wasn't alone. Their love and encouragement were invaluable. I made a conscious effort to focus on myself. I started going to the gym, picking up hobbies I'd neglected, and exploring interests I'd never had time for. Slowly but surely, I began to rediscover who I was outside of the marriage. Each small victory, whether it was completing a project at work or simply getting through a day without crying, felt like a step forward. As time passed, the pain lessened. I stopped blaming myself for her choices and started to see her betrayal as a reflection of her character, not mine. I learned that healing isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about finding a way to move forward despite it. Eventually, I reached a place of peace. I forgave her, not for her sake, but for mine. Holding on to anger and resentment only kept me tied to the pain. Letting go allowed me to truly move on and open myself up to new possibilities. Looking back, I realized that her betrayal, as painful as it was, taught me some of the most important lessons of my life. I learned about the importance of self-worth, the value of boundaries, and the strength it takes to rebuild after a loss. To anyone going through a similar experience, know this: you are not defined by someone else's actions. You are stronger than you think, and you are worthy of love and respect. Healing takes time, but it is possible. And when you come out on the other side, you'll be amazed at how much stronger and wiser you become. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've experienced betrayal or heartbreak, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Let's create a community of support and healing for those who need it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this video resonates. Remember, no matter how dark things may seem, there is always light on the other side.